Welcome to that loving voice. Welcome to that loving voice. Welcome back. I hope you're doing well today. I hope you're in for a fun session. Today we're going to be looking at the next posture in our series, which is sort of a variation of Purvottanasana, which is almost like a reverse plank. We're going to be looking at the simplified version, which is more like tabletop pose. So I invite you then to, if you can, grab hold of your block or your big dictionary or your medical book, whatever it is that you've got that you can use as a support. I invite you to take hold of your strap. And today as well, I encourage you to, again, grab hold of a blanket or a pillow and a blanket. You're going to want that blanket again for your child's pose and for your corpse pose at the end. So we'll get to it. Thank you for subscribing. That is very important and very helpful. And it helps me continue to make these videos for you. Thank you for sharing this with your friends, for liking my videos, liking my page, and just all in all for being here and participating, because this is for you. If I weren't doing it for anybody, then there'd be no point, but it's for you, special. So I hope you're taking advantage and that you are gleaning from this practice in some way, shape, or form. Thank you also for your donations. It also continues to make this possible. Do know, as per usual, disclaimer, please practice at your own risk. As we know, I cannot be responsible for any injuries that occur inside your home through the instruction of this video. So again, always listen to your body, listen to your limitations, hold yourself very tenderly, and do everything you can to sort of honor your limits. Listen to my instruction to the best of your ability and consult a doctor if you have any concerns or questions about applying an at-home practice. So we'll get to it once you're ready with all of your equipment. I invite you then to take hold of your strap. And again, we're going to take it into our sort of shoulder width stand here. What I mean by that is that it's approximately the width of my shoulder. Mine's a little large right now, but that's all right. And just set it aside. And from there, we're going to lie down flat, totally flat on the ground with our strap just beside us. Now let the arms grow long. Turn the palms up, and again, walk those shoulders towards one another to engage that shoulder anchor. Now we can press the upper arm bones as well as the forearms down into the floor, engaging this shoulder anchor. We draw the chin towards the throat. Now with the feet together, we flex and we draw the big toes towards one another. Now from here, we're going to engage this posture so we're actually quite alive, quite flexed in the muscles, tensed. You could even say as those thigh bones internally rotate, the big toes draw towards one another, the inner thighs are engaged. You could even engage the quadriceps here and press the thigh bones down. Now we can begin to sort of engage through the core, zipping through the core, the belly button draws towards the spine. As we continue to anchor the shoulder blades into the floor, let the chest open. Now from here, continue to walk those shoulder blades together, press the elbows down, and just open the chest. So we're kind of in somewhat of like a fish pose here now. We keep the chin towards the throat. So there's this openness in the back of the heart. As I lift the back of the heart, I continue to engage through the abdomen, through the core, drawing the abdomen towards the spine. And especially, I do not let my legs sort of splay out. I continue to draw the big toes together, the feet are flexed, and I press the thigh bones into the ground. Now I'm going to stay here for about 3 more breaths. And now I'm going to exhale and release, just coming back to center. And now I'll bend the knees and adjust myself accordingly. I can have a little bit more of a relaxed posture here, but nonetheless, I am going to continue sort of just being present with this shoulder anchor, and the palms sort of open towards the ceiling. Now I'm going to prepare for my meditation. I can let my bones settle here, the feet hip width, the knees are bent. So we can take a nice big exhalation. Let the eyes soften. The tongue softens down the back. And I begin to observe the breath. Now you'll stay right here. Of course, I'm going to come up and guide you. And do remember that you have your sweater, or even your blanket if you wanted, just to snuggle up and get a little warm here for this first component. We let the eyes soften. And the brain begins to cool. The jaw is relaxed. And we begin to observe the 4 parts of the breath. We let the exhalation be natural, yet purging. And the inhalation light and healing. And each pause between the breath is still. Our mantra today, referencing forgiveness. Forgiveness is healing. So now you may actually want to swap that around and have healing on the inhale and forgiveness on the exhale. In in which case your mantra would sound like inhaling healing, exhaling forgiveness. Healing, forgiveness. Now it's up to you where you wish to acquire or apply this healing. It might be physical through an injury that you may have received at some point. Maybe you have lower back pain or a shoulder injury. Or it may be an emotional wound. Maybe it's a mental wound. Perhaps you have a mental illness or another condition. And whatever that is, I invite you to let that just be laid down at the foot of this practice. We can offer that up. And now just receive this healing. Receive healing that comes through forgiveness. As we inhale this word healing, we invite that healing into that specific area. We are still on the pause, and as we exhale forgiveness, we offer that up, letting it go, releasing, and the cycle continues. Inhaling, healing, we invite that healing into that specific area. Exhaling, we offer it up. Now you may be engaging in this cyclical process of inviting in healing and exhaling forgiveness. Or you may be thinking of that specific incident, and if you are, then I invite you to frame it in the mind in such a way that is an asking for healing rather than a blaming or a repeating of the incident. this repetition only continues to embed the trauma. I invite you instead to think wonderful thoughts of acceptance, of love towards that person or towards that circumstance. And invite healing in the situation as it is. It is what it is. I invite healing to wash away regret and for self-love to take root instead. And I invite you to cover over this trauma with love. Just continue to send positive, loving thoughts towards yourself and others into the world. And that doesn't mean you need to bottle up any negative emotions. You can feel those things. You're allowed to sense them, to understand them, even to go there and to purge them, but deciding again and again to allow them to control you, to control your actions, to frame your mind and your perspective. These things lead to death. They lead to a cycle of abuse towards yourself, towards others, towards that circumstance. And that's okay in the sense that it's very human. But we can make a choice. We can make a choice to be set free. We can make a choice to receive healing. And it's a process of offering it up, laying those emotions, those wounds, that trauma at the foot of your practice. And receiving the love, the healing, the forgiveness that puts them into perspective and allows them to be washed away. Inhaling the word healing, exhaling forgiveness. Inhale healing. Exhale forgiveness. Inhale healing. Forgiveness. I invite you to carry this practice into your daily life and to let these teachings, these heart truths carry you through your day every day. And as you continue to come back to this well pool, almost like these truths are living water, I invite you to continue carrying them and sharing them with those around you. Healing, forgiveness. And when you're ready, now we can begin to wiggle through the toes, wiggle the fingers. And here now we've been introduced to this concept before. We're going to find that gentle cat-cow here on our backs as we continue to engage through this little mini backbending series, as if the pelvis were a bowl now filled, pointing to the sky, pouring water into it this way. As I exhale, the water spills onto my heels, but as I inhale, as I inhale, the water spills onto my heels. As I exhale, that water spills towards the belly. As I inhale, the water spills towards my heels, my spine gently arches. Exhaling, the lower back flattens to the ground and water spills towards the belly. So we find that gentle rocking sensation of the pelvis. Inhaling, the lower spine arches, hips stay heavy, water spills on the heels. Exhaling, the belly flattens down, lower back flattens, water spills towards the belly. We continue to find this sensation here just as we start to warm up through the spine. Observing how you feel today in your spine, in your hips. And don't forget that shoulder anchor, where here now the shoulder blades continue to draw towards one another. Palms are up for the time being. And if I were there, I would be able to see the exact length, depth, and profoundness of your breath based on the quality, the speed of your movements. Our movements we find that mantra here as usual. I hope you are doing that on your own. And now we're going to apply an interesting concept. So here, bring the heels under the knees. We continue now to anchor down through the shoulder blades as they draw together. Chin stays towards the throat, arms are anchored down. Now here, I'm going to exhale, and I'm going to tilt that pelvis as if I'm flattening the lower back down, but I'm going to lift here one vertebrae at a time up into my bridge pose, and then I'm going to let the tailbone be heavy and snake myself back down, almost as if I'm creating a wave here. So I exhale to lift, and I inhale, descend. And I'm finding that scooping sensation here through the pelvis. I sort of scoop to rise. The belly sort of crunches inwards. Scooping and lifting, pressing into those upper arm bones. And as I draw down, it's the tailbone that leads. As there's that gentle arch that happens. Now remember to find that anchor through the shoulder blades. So I continue to draw your shoulder blades together, chin towards the throat. And don't forget, the feet, the legs are in your internal rotation, so my feet are not splaying out. I'm straight here through the thigh bones as I Find this wave. Now we can, if you want, we can find a nice full Setu Bandhasana here, and then exhale down and release. Now, we're going to roll to the side. And here right away, we'll take hold of our blanket and we'll find again this little child's pose. So you can open your blanket up, and again, as you know, we roll it into a firm little circular niche, and from there, knees are together. I can round and release. Now, remember your block. We can place it under the head, we can place it under the chest. Today, I could place my block under the head, but I might actually prefer to round here through the spine and let this openness occur through the back of the neck. Today, I'm going to clasp my hands behind the back. And now remember, if your blanket is rolled too much, it'll start stabbing the ribs. So release that knot just a little bit, if that is the case for you. Now, once we're here, we let the hips sink back. We let the thigh bones ground back, like in that first section we did on grounding the femurs, which was our mini series 1.1, 2, and 3. So I invite you to go back to that if you're not following along from beginning to end, which is what I recommend. And to apply those concepts to your femur bones, your thigh bones here, as they draw down and away, and as the belly softens down, as the spine rounds in this position. Healing forgiveness. Now, one vertebrae at a time, we're going to roll up. Really take your time here, indulging in the spine. Oof. And from there, we're going to draw the hands behind the back. Now, remember these same concepts that we're working on. And in fact, if you wanted, you could even use your strap right here around the shoulders, or I should say the elbows. For me, it's my adduction is I don't need it. But here now, we draw the elbows back, anchor the shoulders together by sliding the scapula towards one another. Chin stays towards the throat, elbows draw in, and I'm opening and lifting the chest. So I'm engaging in that shoulder loop. You understand? So if I really tend to be in kyphosis, I'm really going to work hard to squeeze the shoulder blades together and lift and open through the heart. Okay? And once I get stronger at this, the chest starts to open. I can really squeeze the shoulder blades together and let the heart lift. So if I'm here, I don't lift the neck or lift the shoulders. I stay open through the back of the neck. As we know, as I let the heart open. And here now, behind my heart is really engaged. The muscles behind my heart are supporting this back bend from the heart rather than the lower spine. So this is my upper spine that's extending in this back bend here. So this is going to be important as we carry on. Continue to draw the shoulder blades together. Let the chest peel open. If you feel you're dumping in the lower back, then just come up a little bit more and engage the core, squeeze in, and draw the shoulder blades together from that position. Now we'll exhale and come back. Now we'll just get rid of our blanket, set it aside. We can set our strap aside. We're going to use it in just a moment. Now we'll come up here onto all fours. We'll find a baby cat-cow here just as we start to continue warming up through the spine. Exhale, we lift the belly button. Inhale, we lift the sitting bones. Find that mantra. Inhale, healing. Exhale, forgiveness. Now we're going to come back here on all fours in just a moment. But to start, we'll exhale to our downward dog. Lengthen those sitting bones away. Lift the hips away from the chest. Breathe fully. Find that mantra. Now we're going to float the knees slightly forward. Now I invite you to engage through the core. If you have pain in the wrists, then you can do this on the elbows. You'll just have to lengthen the knees back a little bit so that the hips are in a straight line with the shoulders. You see, if I'm lifted up, then my hips are higher. So we're going for a plank here. So the hips are in alignment with the shoulders. If you're on the wrists or if you're on your hands, it doesn't make too much of a difference. If you're here up on the hands, then you can lift the knees. Now we're going to lengthen the right leg back. So now, if you want a harder core exercise, then keep this leg lifted so that my knee is actually not touching the ground right now. But if you want something easier, then come down onto the knee. Okay? Now we're going to exhale and switch. Now this knee again is floating about an inch off the ground. I'm broad here through the back of the shoulders, but I engage and I lift up through the core. Now I switch once more. Lift through the core, broad through the back of the shoulders, chin towards the throat. Exhale, switch. Now I'm not collapsing here in the arms. I continue to squeeze the elbows in. Now we're going to hold a nice full plank here for about 3 breaths. All right, so there's a big beach ball under my belly. My tailbone is heavy. I engage through the quadriceps. Now, I can either choose to do a push-up, come down, do a little chaturanga, or I can exhale to a downward dog. That's up to you. Now, just for fun, we're going to do that same spinal roll here. Now, rolling one vertebrae at a time. We're going to roll all the way forward, engage that shoulder loop, anchor the shoulder blades together, and we exhale back. So I hope you're getting warm, and I hope you're getting engaged through the shoulders, the upper arms, and the core. Soon we're going to engage in a chest stretch that's going to be really important for our climax. Now, exhaling, we roll forward. Sacrum bone draws in, heart opens, shoulder blades draw together. Exhaling back. Now, I invite you to turn the index fingers slightly outwards towards the corners of your mat. That helps us to find that external rotation in the arms so that we're not like dumping in the shoulders and engaging in kyphosis, which is kind of like a hunchback. Now, last time Exhale, we roll one vertebrae at a time. Now remember, you can always do this on your knees if that's good for you. I let the heart swoop forward, draw the shoulder blades together as I lift here through the knees. Exhaling back. So in our full library curriculum series on backbending, we're going to do an entire other section on cobra and upward facing dog. Of course, we're not going to be able to do that in this mini series, which is just an introduction and almost like a teaser for that full library curriculum, which you can find on my website, coming soon, thatlovingvoice.com. So now we look to the hands, we take a step or a jump forward. If you're having trouble with your sun salutations, I'll click a video in here. The first video we did, grounding the femurs 1.1. We can exhale, release. Inhale to rise. Exhale, hands come down. Now we're going to inhale, lifting the arms, finding a chair. Now this chair, I like to do the chairs with a little bit of a back bend, so you can do them with a more neutral spine, which is okay, but I kind of like the back bending. Engage, lifting the belly button towards the back of the spine. Pelvic floor is open. Thigh bones are parallel. Inhale. Now, if you have your strap, you can place that behind the back, or if you're flexible enough, you can clasp the hands together, okay? So here, I let the heels be heavy. I roll the shoulders back. I engage into my strap. Hands are towards facing one another. I exhale forward and I lengthen the arms away. Now, if I wanted to take this to the next level, I could turn the palms like as if I was pressing into a wall in behind. So the index finger, the middle finger is actually pointing towards the heels. Now, as I'm here in this sort of neutral spine, I press the hands away, chin comes towards the throat, and I draw the shoulder blades together. Breathing here. Now I'm going to inhale, rise. I exhale, releasing my strap. Inhale to lift. Now I exhale, swan diving. Spine is flat. Now if I'm comfortable, I can clasp the hands together, lengthen again, shoulder blades down the back. So now I'm going to stay here if I'm good here, or if I want, I can fold and open through the chest. Wherever you are, engage with as much integrity as you can. Draw the shoulder blades together. Long, neutral spine to the best of your ability. Breathing with that mantra. Now switch the grip of your hands wherever you are if they are clasped. Stay with me with the breath, chin towards the throat, lengthen out the tailbone. Exhaling, we're going to come back. Inhale to rise. Exhale to our chair pose. Now we can keep the arms lifted here, or we can bring the hands to the heart. We can bring them forward if you want, whatever you need. Open through the pelvic floor, zip that core in, chin towards the throat here. Inhale, rise. Now take hold of your strap once again. Now I'm going to just make mine a little shorter because it was a bit too wide. And again, turn the palms out as if we were pressing into a wall. We see that the middle fingers are pressing towards the feet, towards the heels. Now I bend my knees, I lengthen the arms away, squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift through the core, chin towards the throat. Breathing here. If I'm capable, if I'm confident, I can start now to fold even more. But we don't want to lose that at the cost of the shoulders. That's what's most important here, okay? That's what we're working on today. Keep those elbows drawn in. Keep the fingers pointing down. If it helps, actually, you can turn the palms to the side. So this is a perfectly applicable option. Actually, you see how my shoulder blades went from drawing down the back. Now it's easier to scoop them together. That's perfectly okay if you want to do it that way. That'll help you open the chest. Now one more full breath. And we exhale, release. I hope you're feeling stronger now through the chest, through the arms. We inhale, lift. Exhale, shoot the sitting bones back, float the chest forward. Exhale, release. Inhale, flat back. Now the hands come down, point the index fingers straight ahead. Exhale to a plank pose. Now remember, you can come onto the knees if that helps you. Soften the elbows away from the ears. Come onto the belly, big toes are together. Hands are under the elbows. Now here, engage the shoulder blades towards one another. Chin stays towards the throat. We're going to stay here for 3 breaths. This is a little introduction to your cobra pose, okay? Some people bring the hands under the chest. That's fine, but I teach it with the hands under the elbows. For me, it's more of an effective way of engaging the shoulder blades, first of all. And second of all, actually, I find it to be more difficult in the spine, more strengthening, but also it really helps us find the chest. So you see, exhale to find your downward facing dog. Now remember, here in your downward dog, we turn the fingers slightly out and we soften the elbows towards the temples. The biceps turn to the side. The triceps draw towards the temples. We're going to look at that in a whole new series on the arms with some really fun postures, including downward dog. Now we can exhale. That left foot comes forward, or excuse me, the right foot comes forward. Now you have your blanket, you have your pillow. You can put that under the knee here if that helps. Okay? So we're coming under the knee. So now we're doing almost like a little revision of this mini series. Okay? So remember, we can turn the top of the foot down if you want, but it's really important the knee not be out or too far in, but that the knee be in alignment with the hip and the foot as well, which is really important. That back foot is quite important too. Okay, so now envision that sacrum bone as a triangle, almost like a slice of pizza at the base of the spine. Draw that sacrum bone in towards the center of the pelvis and up, which helps the heart open. Now you see immediately how I find that shoulder loop and the anchoring here. So why don't we put our hands on the buttocks? Now this is preparing us for so many postures. Okay, now draw the elbows towards one another. Find that adduction as the chest starts to open. Sacrum bone draws in and helps the heart to lift. Now, if you wanted, you could, like lift the arms up. It's okay. You can go ahead and do that, but we're kind of losing the action here that we're going for in the shoulders. It's okay to take a break. You could even bring the hands on the hips. That might give you some more freedom to actually start to open a little bit more. However, we don't want to hang in the joints. That's important. We don't want to hang, especially if you're flexible. Ease up just a little bit and find that strength. Okay? Engage the shoulder blades together and draw them down the back. Chest opens. Exhaling, we come back. Now, just for fun, we're going to flex this foot, and we're going to find a grounding of the femur bone. So you see, if my hip's really lifted here, I soften that hip away, and I float the heart forward. I'll just bring my hands to my hips here. So now I'm stretching through the back of this right hamstring as well as calf. And I'm not doing this at the cost of the integrity of my spine. So my spine is still neutral here, you can see. My hips are square. Now we're going to exhale, bring that foot back down. Hands come down. We can lift up to our plank pose. And we're going to switch sides with a chaturanga in center. So this is our next series, actually, is chaturanga. So we soften the elbows back, draw the shoulder blades together, lift through the core as we exhale down. Now big toes come together and hands come under the elbows, chin towards the throat, squeeze shoulder blades together. Press in to lift. Exhale back. Again, we turn those index fingers slightly out to the side. Now this is a little exaggerated, but it's a helpful exercise to help draw the elbows in towards the temples as the biceps turn out and the triceps turn in. It's a spiraling action of the femur bone, or excuse me, the humerus bone in the shoulder girdle. Now we draw this blanket under that right leg as the left leg moves forward, coming onto that knee. We can turn the top of the foot down if you prefer. Now here, that sacrum bone at the base of the spine. That sacrum bone draws forward and up. And remember, this foot, the knee is never in front of the foot. Always the foot in front of the knee or on top of the ankle. That will save your knees. Okay, so now my hands, they come onto my buttocks or onto the lower back. And I fight to draw the elbows together and the chest open. So the shoulder blades are squeezing towards each other here. Let me show you what this looks like from behind. So it's very tempting for me to have my elbows wide, but now I exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and the elbows draw together too. Okay, it's kind of what we're going for here. Now remember, if you did a variation where you lifted the arms, that's okay. You could even find that as we sort of settle in. Just repeat sort of what you did last time, whether it was arm lifting, or if you at some point brought your hands to the hips and lengthened forward a little bit more without hanging. Remember to stay zipping through the core. This is an extension of the upper chest, right? So it's so wonderful because I'm not back bending necessarily through the lower spine. That's not my target today. Keep that chest open and shoulder blades drawn together. And now we can exhale, lengthening this front leg. We flex that foot. If my left hip hikes up, soften that hip down so both hip bones are equal. And from here, I float the chest forward. You'll see that left hip wants to hike up. Soften that thigh bone down. Ground that femur bone. As the heart draws forward, I keep the integrity of my neutral spine. This is a challenging balance posture. Continue to draw the shoulder blades towards one another. Here, of course, we're not caring too much about the elbows, more the spine itself as we stretch through the back of that hamstring, that calf, and we keep that left foot flexed. Now we're going to exhale, rolling forward. Bring your hands back down to center. We can lift up and remove our blanket as you see fit. And now we're going to find a little chaturanga. Soften the elbows. So my elbows are on top of the hands. Now we're going to get into this next week. Squeeze the elbows together. Shoulder blades come towards one another. Big toes touching. Inhale to rise. Exhale. Downward facing dog. Healing is forgiveness. Now we could get into some more warrior poses to start strengthening through the thighs, but for the sake of time, we're going to find our climax posture. So here we're going to exhale, feet forward, and we'll slowly come down to a little squat. Now we'll lengthen the legs forward. You can take your blanket or your block, find a nice even ridge here, and create, an even ridge here. This is all right too. My yoga teacher might tell me not to, but it's all right, as long as it's balanced. And again. So we're going to start here with the flesh of the buttocks on our blanket. We lengthen those feet forward. Let the thigh bones draw in and down. Now we're just going to start in a Dandasana staff pose. So my fingers are pointing towards the hips, or like before, they can point out to the side, but do not point them back to the side or towards the hips. Okay, I'm going to work with my fingers towards the hips. The challenge here is not to round, but to lift and to draw those elbows together, the shoulder blades together, okay? This is the action of the shoulders here in our Dandasana posture. Chin towards the throat. Let the thigh bones be heavy and draw down into the ground. Okay, we're going to stay here for a few breaths. So actually, if it helps you, you can use your strap around the elbows. For me, like I said, I have an extremely good adduction. But if you're way out here, then drawing the elbows in, that will be a great help for you. And you'll notice right away that it's going to help you tremendously if you engage through the core and just lift the chest. That's going to be probably the best bet for you to start feeling stronger and more accurate as you draw those elbows together. And the scapula, the shoulder blades, draw together too. Okay, so now we're going to exhale. If you want, you can turn this into a little practice. You can lift up and sort of wiggle yourself off. We're going to remove our blanket altogether. And we're going to start with the feet bent. Okay, so at the end of our backbending series, I'm going to ideally get you to a place where we can do this posture. But for the sake of our well-being, we're going to work today on table. So we're going to have the feet hip width, knees bent. Again, we can turn the palms to the side or the fingers in, but do not place them behind. All right? So from here, again, let the elbows be softened back. The chest opens. We're going to start just like this. Engage that shoulder loop. If you want, you can try it with your strap. You may want to have an in-between where the hands are sort of out to the side. Just like if you're on your back in Setu Bandhasana, the palms are up, right? If you have really wide arms out here, then for you to use the strap, you might want to find a halfway stance here, and you might want to let the elbows be a little bit wider so that you're not like hardcore in alignment. It might cause straining through the shoulders, especially in the humerus bone. So be wise. Listen to your body. Find that happy medium, okay? We're growing together. It doesn't need to be perfect. And by the way, you can message me for a private lesson, and I'll give you a Zoom lesson, and then I will even record a lesson for you and send it that you can keep. But nonetheless, thanks for your patience. Now, I hope you've been holding this posture the whole time. So if yes, let's exhale and come out. And just take a breath here with our mantra. Now we can exhale, coming back. Bring those hands down. Find your happy medium, whatever you need. Now from here, once we have that shoulder loop, shoulders are shrugged back, shoulders drawn together, elbows in alignment for the most part with your shoulder blades. Now from here, press into the hands, open the chest. Now, is it possible to lift the hips off the ground? This might be all you need, because it's important to keep this action of the shoulders without collapsing, right? We want to keep this integrity. Keep that. Find it. Fight for it as you breathe with fluid, open breath. And if you're capable, you can lift the hips. Now, I prefer not to teach a lengthening back just because a lot of people don't know how to do it and they don't have the action of the neck and the shoulders quite yet. So we bring the chin in towards the throat for now and just let the heart open as the shoulder blades draw together. Now, it might be helpful for you just to release a little bit here, zip through the core and squeeze those shoulder blades together. This might be perfect for you. Actually, this is probably really good for me today because it helps me engage in the shoulder blades in that healthy action without over-compromising in the neck or the chest just because I'm flexible. Just because I'm flexible doesn't mean that I'm doing it right, you know? Engage the shoulder blades down, zip through the core, exhale, release. Now right away, lengthen the legs long and come into your full Dandasana posture. Shoulder blades now drawn together down the back, elbows are softening back, chest is open. My abs are totally engaged here through the belly. Now, if I want, I can even tilt my face to one side and stretch through the chest. You can switch sides. Now, good work, everybody. Round of applause. We can squeeze those hands in. We're going to lift. And if you want, you can do it like hardcore. You can find your way to a plank pose. We're going to do one last chaturanga here. Squeeze those elbows in, flex the quads. Now you can find your cobra or your up dog as you see fit. And we exhale back to our downward facing dog. Now we're going to come back onto the knees. I'm going to turn to the side. We're going to get some good little hip stretches here. So actually, I'm going to challenge you to cross the legs and to fight to keep a neutral spine without rounding here as you let the legs just relax to the side. Halfway through, we're going to change the cross of the leg. So remember, you have your little block or your blanket to help you find that neutral spine here. And if you have some supports, like you could place them under the knees to help support the thighs. But our goal here is going to be to let the knees eventually start to relax down, keeping a neutral spine, and for the chest to stay open, of course. Now for me, I'm more flexible, so I'm going to stretch by stacking the feet. If you wanted, if you were more flexible, you could even stack the feet on top of the knees. Now for me, this feels really good but I want you, wherever you are, to feel accommodated. So again, just let those sitting bones anchor down, let the chest be bright. You might want to stabilize yourself with your hands as you let those knees start to relax down to the side. Now we're going to exhale and switch the cross of your legs wherever you are. If you're here or here, maybe you're here, maybe you're here. Wherever you are, just let those knees begin to soften down. Fight for that length in the spine. You can stabilize here with the arms. Finding that mantra. Healing forgiveness. And now we exhale, coming back. Now, if you wanted, you could do a little core lift between each of those exercises. Now we're going to finish by lengthening the right leg along and letting that left leg just relax down to the side. So here, if you have one block, you could place that under the knee for some support if your leg is floating. Today, how am I doing? I'm okay today. I might need a little support here on my knee because it's not quite touching the ground. Some days it's really bad. So now, depending on where you are in your spine, this might be enough for you. I do encourage you to grab your strap around the foot just because it helps you to engage that shoulder loop and that shoulder anchor of drawing the shoulder blades together, zipping through the core. So when we do that, like my core is drawn in, I'm not like, I'm engaged. Okay, that's what I mean by zip through the core. Draw the belly button towards the spine, anchor the shoulder blades together. From here, you can consider letting the belly draw towards the thighs, but without losing the integrity of the spine. Okay, so I'm not rounding and I'm not dumping in the lower back. Engage that shoulder loop and float down. See, I can do this without my strap. I'm not pulling, I'm not requiring, I'm not depending on it. It's an aid. Find that mantra. You see there's a roundness from the lower back all the way to the crown of the head. I'm not crunching the shoulders. Chin towards the throat. Shoulders are relaxed here. Now I can inhale, rise, and I switch sides. Engage the shoulder loop, especially to start. Belly button to the spine. Thigh bone presses to the floor. Chin towards the throat. Find your mantra. Healing forgiveness. Now I can inhale, drawing to center, and here we'll go both legs now. Big toes touching, feet are flexed, thigh bones are heavy. Zip through the core, shoulders draw down. We can use our strap. And we soften the heart towards the thighs, chin stays towards the throat, especially to start. You can start to relax through the shoulders. If you're starting to make it down, eventually you'll round here in the chest and just totally relax. That's sort of how it goes when you become more and more advanced. But until you get to that place, you're going to want to keep fighting for that anchoring of the shoulders back as the heart sort of leans forward and the thigh bones press down. Keep that chin towards the throat. And don't forget your mantra. Now, if you've been here a while and you need to stay like me, then please do. But if you are ready to come out and still want that rounding action of the spine, then bend the knees and relax like this. Because we did a lot of back bending today, it's important to let the spine round. Particularly soften through the back of the heart and let the back of the heart really open. As the chin stays towards the throat, now we can really start to relax the shoulder blades down to the sides. Now, one vertebrae at a time, we start to roll up. Really milk it. Now we start to prepare for Shavasana. We remove all of our blocks, our blankets, and everything, or our straps. We set it aside. Now, if you have a pillow, you can use that at the head. If you have a blanket, you can fold it and use it at the head. Or you can use your blanket on your body to cover yourself all up. If you have a sweater, you put that on. If you have socks, you put them on. So this is Shavasana, for those of you who don't know. I just let my legs fall open. And I literally come down and open the arms out to the side, open the legs out to the side, and I just rest like this. Now we'll be here for a good 7-8 minutes. So I invite you to get comfortable, to find stillness, and to even cover the eyes with something. If you wanted to turn off your lights, that's what I'm going to do now. And to begin just drawing inward. Letting the eyes become soft. Letting your face become soft. Letting the bones totally relax. Letting the muscles fall away from the bone. Letting the jaw come unhinged. Letting the tongue soften down into the back of the throat. Now we let the body find total stillness. The eyes are still. The hands, the feet, and we reclaim that breath if we haven't already. Inhaling healing. Exhaling forgiveness. Healing, renewing, healing, renewing, forgiving. I sing, forgiving, I sing, healing. The light with healing in his wings. His arms open wide, healing in his eyes. His arms open wide, forgiving. Healing, I sing. Healing, I sing. Forgiving, renewing, I sing. Forgiving and renewing. Forgiving, I sing. Renewing, I sing. Forgiving, I sing. Renewing, forgiveness, I sing. His arms open wide, his heart full of light. The dove of forgiveness glides. His arms open wide, his eyes full of light. The dove of forgiveness glides. And you can begin to deepen the breath in your body. Inviting in this mantra of healing and forgiveness. And bringing this sensation of peace, this sensation of freedom, of forgiveness, of love. Bringing that out into the world today. Forgiving others because you have been forgiven. Accepting that healing in your heart. Even though it might take time. And I invite you to begin to deepen the breath in the body. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Start rocking through the thighs. And eventually you can roll to the side using the arm as a pillow. Please take a moment here to give thanks for one thing you are grateful for. And then you can let the head be heavy. You can roll yourself up, coming to a seated posture. The spine is long, finding that shoulder anchor. Back of the neck is long, feeling the fruit of your practice. And yes, you should be proud of yourself. You're doing great. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have questions or concerns. Questions about your body, about your practice, about the breath, about spirituality, whatever it is you need, I'm here for you and will serve you the best I can. Just email at thatlovingvoice@gmail.com. And I invite you to seal this practice, bringing your hands to the heart. God bless you. Thank you so much for being here today. It was a pleasure to practice with you. I look forward to more, and especially to sharing with you this library curriculum that is soon coming out. I know you're getting a good taste of it, but we haven't purchased it just yet. You'll find some links below that can offer that to you in the very near future, if not already. Please like this page and share my channel with a friend, someone that you trust, who you know could benefit greatly from this type of practice. Thank you for your support as well. Have a great day, and I'll see you next time.